Greetings, loyalists and heretics. Welcome to Iron and Ceramite, where we once again enter the warp without an astropath.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Iron and Ceramite podcast and our hobby roundup. My name is John, and today I'm joined by Shane.
Hello.
Dave.
Hi guys.
And the returning from serious injury, Tom.
Hi.
And we're missing Glenn this week, so we will just talk about him as normal, as if he's here, and his lack of painting. But without further ado, then we will crack on. How is everybody?
Very good, thank you.
Very good, yeah.
Good. Tom, you've got about 4 hours worth of material to talk about this week.
Yeah, I'll whiz through it really quick because obviously I missed the last pod, so it's going to be double what I normally would have.
I've just to make it so you can have a rest halfway through. I've put your old stuff first, and then a bit of a break, and then we'll catch up with where you're at.
All right. No worries.
Yeah. Okay, so go, man, go.
God, it has been a long time, hasn't it? That was quite right. Okay, so obviously this is my Phobos Captain or Phobos Captain, however you want to pronounce it. I'm quite happy with the way he turned out. I changed the helm on it. I don't say helmet anymore because Dave just laughs at me. To a beaky, and I think it works quite well because I think the bare face for the captain I just don't like. He looks scraggly and like a dirty old. He looks like Compo from Last of the Summer Wine. It didn't really look great on a Space Marine, so I put that on, and I'm quite happy with that.
What kind of a reference is Last of the Summer Wine? Is that still even on TV?
How old I am for a 35-year-old man, doesn't it really?
It's a deep cut, but I like it.
So this, obviously, my Primaris Tech Priest, really great model. Honestly, it's so detailed, and I've done a good paint job on it, if I do say so myself, up until I've completely fucked it up at the end. Like, if you look at his pauldron, I went to put yellow on it. I was going to leave him blank, so he looked like he could play for either side, but Blood Angels or Imperial Fists. I chose to put the yellow on, and it just went on really bad. As you can see, it's all smeary and sort of blobby. And then I sprayed him with that Munitorum varnish again, because I tested it. I remember I said before I was never going to use it again on a model.
Yeah.
So I tested it on a different model, shook it really well, and it went on perfectly fine. And it seems like it goes on like coloured armour fine, but it's the metallics that it makes look really frosted and dull. And obviously this one's got so many bits of metallics, sort of like the axe, the servo arm and all that all just frosted up and looked really dull. So yeah, I've quite ruined it at the end, but it's still a cool character. I'm going to use it against you, John.
Oh, can't wait. Not that I know what he does, so it'll just be a surprise. But when he it takes me out or whatever happens,
it just tickles your boys on the nose with his servo arm all game.
You'll get covered in pus, mate.
Is that what it is? Yeah, pus. All
right, let's move on.
That's my second chaplain. Obviously, for my Imperial Fists, I've already got the Biker chaplain, which you'll see later. Actually, yes, it has been a long time, so I've got two new chaplains. So the Biker chaplain and this guy here. This was quite a rush job, really. I swapped the head round from a Judicia, and then I realised after I'd painted it, chaplain's known for shouting and having a voice, and this guy's got his mouth covered up. So that was a bit stupid, but yeah, it looks all right. It was just so I had a chaplain that wasn't on a bike, really.
The effect on his eyes looked really cool. How'd you do that?
So that was just like, I can't remember what I did it with before. The Emperor's Champion, I think it was, that model with the big sword you loved, Dave, remember? So I put in the red eyes, just the eyeballs, and then with what was left on the brush, because I didn't put too much paint on at the beginning, I just literally dry brushed around the outside of his the eye sockets. I'm getting a little bit better at that, but it's when you close up, it's still not perfect. But yeah, from a distance, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does look really good.
Cheers, man.
Okay.
So this is one thing I regret missing the last pod about, because I know like Dave painted his as well. He's I'm not going to pronounce his name. Something to do with Dumbledore from Harry Potter.
It's Tancred Amberaldus. You know full well what his name is.
Tancred Amberaldus. So yeah, this was my version of that Imperial Mag Captain. I was going to make him my chapter master for the Imperial Fists, so I painted him gold. he looks all right. He's not my favourite character because I don't really like the way I painted him. He looks a bit plain. I probably won't be using him that much if I'm honest. But yeah, it's another decent model to add to the collection.
Another orc arm on the base.
Mate, that's me, man. That's all. I think I'm running out of all arms now, to be honest, because I built that set. So that's annoying.
Well, you're going to get the orc from my Hellbreak model, wouldn't you? So
I can't wait to get my hands on that. I'm going to definitely make something good out of that. So this, don't really know why I sent you this, to be honest. It's not really that. It's just so that they, so when we play it, at least it looks like something we're actually defending rather than just sort of like, I don't know, a blank thing. So yeah, but you can go past them. So that's fine. So this was, I was going to try and have this painted by the time we spoke. But this is just a little diorama I've made with a Dark Angel Sergeant, I believe it is. Deathwing Sergeant. And he's just, as you can see in the middle there, if you look closely, you've got the Tyranid skulls piled up and the Watcher there. So in my mind, it was just that he was stranded on a space hulk. His brothers have been killed, slain. As you can see to the bottom right, you got one of the standards with his ex-captain's helm on the floor and the book. Yep, there you go, Dave. There you go. I know it. Then you got the book down by him. It's almost like I don't know, like a monument to him. You got a little Watcher that was stranded with them, who somehow made it to the end, and then this is him just before his final battle against the rest of the Tyranids who are coming for him. But yeah, I probably won't ever paint it, to be honest. I've got so much other stuff to do. But it's a cool idea for the future at some point.
At least you had fun putting it together.
See, that's my problem. I like creating something, and then I never want to paint it. I just want to put it away, and that's it. Done.
I'm sure you'll do it in like another fit of creative madness one day. It'll just come
when I run out of money completely, I'll do it.
Out on the street.
Yeah. So yeah, this is another one. I don't really know why I sent. I forgot because I think I didn't have that much last time, so I was trying to bump it up to make it look like I've done something. Now I've missed that one. Obviously, there's tons of it, but this was just I've got Marius Calgar, the older one, and he's on a guard, obviously the Ultramarine. So I put him together. I've actually had this for, I think it's about 21 years.
Yeah, I was going to say this one looks well old, like a proper old hammer.
All old hammer, all metal models. All got the casting faults with them, like the stubs hanging off them all over the place. So I had to cut off. Really difficult to put together. Could not get it to stick. I had to keep washing it and then taking the glue off and putting it back together. But eventually got it together, and it does look like a cool model. But when you're up close to it, you can see how far Games Workshop have come with their molding. Obviously, they use plastic more now anyway. But yeah, it was pretty poor, to be honest. But it still looks all right.
Is he planning to get painted or?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to paint him. I'm going to do it in that. I'm probably going to add him. Do you remember that diorama I've got with the other two Ultramarines, the Captain and the Librarian? I think there's room for him at the front, so he'll be leading them too.
Oh, cool.
Very nice.
So this, I have primed this one now, but I haven't painted it. I needed a Captain on a bike. Obviously, he's a Primaris. There's not a Primaris Captain on a bike. But a Captain on a bike, points-wise, is definitely worth it because you get the bump in toughness. So I wanted to have that for my flexibility. So I'll definitely be using him quite often, I think.
Does he plays as a single character, right? He's not part of a unit.
Yeah, he's just a single character. I think 105 points he is single character.
All right. How much is a squad of 3 normally?
150 for the Outriders.
50 points bike.
He must buff them up.
He just basically acts as a normal captain, but he's got +1 to his toughness, and obviously he's got that massive movement as well.
Yeah.
And obviously he's also got the guns on the front of his bike, and he's got actually that's something we was going to talk about, wasn't it? Can a biker fire the guns on his bike and his gun that he's holding? We've got to find that out. Where's Claire?
I see now because I went away and thought about it. I think he can.
Yeah.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
I think
it's the same as if you've got someone holding a combi bolt on the top of a rhino or something. They'd still fire, wouldn't they?
I think he can. I think the other thing, which I was going to say, that we'll come into it in the gaming side of it. The bikes can't breach terrain because they don't have the right keywords. So yes, so when we played Tom, we did two things wrong. One, he could have fired, but two, they shouldn't have been able to go through the terrain.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But
So,
6 of one, half a dozen the other, right?
Yeah, definitely. So at least we know that. That would have helped you out a little bit, I think.
I think that it still wouldn't have made much of a difference.
Cool. Right, so that's the first lot of pictures from last week. So we'd like to welcome you back to the podcast, Tom. You're all caught up. And Dave, sticking with a bit of a theme here, it's your turn.
So this is my Outrider Squad. This was, I don't know, I'm happy with how they come out, but I did rush them because I wanted to play them against you for the battle report that we did. Excuse me. So they were quite rushed in the end. I tried using contrast paints on the large panels, completely ignoring Shane's advice. Should have listened because it turned out absolutely crap. So I just went to town with dry brushing on them. Just used Necron compound to try and sort of make it look sort of like a battered metal object, and they come out all right. They look all right from a distance if you squint. So I'm not too disappointed with them.
You've got a good windswept effect on them.
Solid tabletop, right? There's no issue with that.
No, and I just think that there's just too much black on them.
Okay.
I know that's it's difficult with the Black Templars anyway, but
have you got any ideas of how you would have changed that if you could do them like in your own time, sort of thing, not rushed? How you would not make them so black, I suppose.
I think just changing the colour of the bikes themselves, maybe having either red bikes or silver bikes. I think red bikes would be quite standout. But
could do all the armour casing in red. That'd be quite cool. Yeah.
So overall, I'm happy. They've come out all right, but obviously it's just tabletop. So
I like the dirt you put on the tyres. It ties it into the base quite well. It does, like I think Shane said, that they look quite windswept, like they've been out there on the terrain.
Yeah.
Good.
I just covered them. I think I just covered them in dry brushing and texture paints just to try and make up for the dodgy contrast.
Oh, they're all right, mate.
They look right.
You're very hard on yourself. That's our job.
So these are my new Infiltrators. I'm really chuffed with these.
They look great.
They're going to be used quite a lot, actually, because I've been talking on Facebook in a Black Templar group, and these are used quite a lot as just sort of tying up and just getting right up the board very quickly, drawing some fire and just assisting in the rest of the army getting up the board. So the contrast on these come out really well. So I didn't try and do any edge highlighting on them. I've just done some edge highlighting on the weapons. I did paint the sergeant's face about 6 times, and I just couldn't get it right. So that's why he's turned in the picture.
He's ashamed.
But what's the special rule with an incursor again? Is that where they get a free move after deployment?
So these are Infiltrators.
Infiltrators, sorry.
Yeah. So they can deploy anywhere in the battlefield.
Up to 9 inches.
Use the concealed positions. They've got 2 different bits of war gear that they can use, either the Helix Gauntlet or the Comms Array. And the Comms Array basically gives them, if you've got like a Phobos Captain or a Phobos Lieutenant, they are always in range of their rerolls.
Oh, okay, that's quite cool.
So they can be quite, especially if you're using, obviously you can see my Phobos Captain in the back there. If I've got my Lieutenant and my Captain, then I think they could be quite a tricky unit to shift, and their damage output's quite good as well.
Yeah.
So
good for early board control.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's pretty much. And obviously, if you transhuman them, being Primaris, their toughness goes up quite a bit, and their survivability definitely is there. So yeah, I'm quite happy with these how they've come out overall. I think they look quite good. And
popped grenade on that guy. I've not seen that on anything before.
No, they are really cool models. Really cool. I've been wanting to paint them for ages, but I just couldn't really work out a role for them within the way I wanted to play. So they've sat unpainted for about a year. But chatting in the groups I think there's a lot of people that are starting to use them and work out how they can be beneficial, especially to a Templar army where you're going to have the majority is going to be melee, and you need to get out the board relatively quickly. They can get out the board quite quick, soak up that fire, and protect the other ones while still making a nuisance of themselves. So they're definitely going to get used.
One good thing about them as well is, because I have used them before, and you can't, if you're playing someone who deep strikes with Terminators or whatever, you can't deep strike within 12 inches of these.
Yeah.
So you'd never be able to get a charge off on them if they're, say, protecting an objective at the back of the board. That's it. You'd have to use 2 turns to get within range of them, combat-wise.
Yeah, I think you did that with my one, didn't you? So I tried to get my Reavers in. So they're definitely a good unit. They're good at for board control. So 100% going to be using them. I've got another 5 to do, but I probably won't run 10. I'll probably just have one squad of 5. So the other 5 might wait for a little while.
Test them out first, yeah?
Yeah, we'll see how it works.
Dave, just before we move on, that grenade, where did that actually come in your pack? Because I didn't get one of them in mine, and mine was a sealed box. Yeah.
It comes as part of it.
No idea what happened to that.
Perhaps you didn't see it.
Yeah, you didn't cut it by accident, did you?
No. I've gone for everything. I didn't get any of them. I just had the 2, can't remember, the haywire mines, because obviously they can be incursors, can't they, as well?
Yeah. So, I don't know, actually. I got these from from a different pack. I can't remember what it's called. Is it the
the
Vanguard set? The Vanguard from the Vanguard set.
Might be different. Okay, cool.
Maybe that's the difference.
They look really good, man.
All right, so these are my Eradicators. Again, I'm really chuffed with these. They had a quick turnout when they were sort of half done work in progress against Tom the other day, and they put a shift in. They've done really good. So the contrast paint, Black Templar contrast paint, and then I have edge highlighted the weapon again. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I think the contrast paint come across really well, so I didn't even bother trying to do any edge highlighting with them. And I think they'll fit in quite nicely. They're really nice models. I really like the Gravis armor because you've got that little bit of extra space to work with, and I think that they just look quite cool, don't they? Yeah. Gravis armor is just quite cool. So yeah, I'm very pleased that I've got these now because I'm falling out of love with my Hellblasters, if I'm honest. So I'm looking forward to using these as a different heavy slot.
Why is that?
I just don't think I don't know if I'm using them wrong, and I think I am. Basically, what it comes down to is that obviously the way that I've been using them, they're not been getting the damage output that my Eradicators did, or what I've seen Tom's Eradicators do, and they're quite a costly unit, and they're not really bringing them points back. So I think it's just the way I'm using them, but I'm going to try and shift up, use my Eradicators for a little while, and then see maybe putting Hellblasters in an Impulsor or something like that and moving them further up the board rather than sitting at the back with them and making them a bit more of an aggressive unit. I don't know what's going to work, but they just don't seem to be working for me at the moment.
Fair enough.
I think that's I've never seen the Eradicators with the actual heavy melter on them.
Yeah, with the multi-melter, and it looks cool, doesn't it?
It does, it's nice.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, he's having that.
Yeah, that's very 100%.
Good. What did you use to do the barrels as well, Dave? I like the way they look.
So, Runelord brass, and then I can't remember what I highlighted them with. A gold layer paint that I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I just done a little bit on the sort of holes on the barrel because I wanted to do the effect that you've done quite well, but I just haven't got the paint or the skill to do that. So I thought, bollocks, I'm just going to edge highlight them and just leave them like that. So
good.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with how they come out. There he is, my Repulsor Executioner. Excuse me. So I think this is the best picture I've taken of this. I think it looks really cool there because the edge highlighting comes out a little bit more. So I tried tying this in with my Predator and my Rhino that have got the sort of script all over it. And I just thought that the red casings obviously just make it a bit more exciting than just black. So I'm very pleased with this. It's finally done. As anyone who sort of watched the pods will know, I absolutely hate doing vehicles, and this was no different. I hated this, but I'm really glad that it's done, and I'm quite happy with how it's come out as well. I've used it a few times while it's been in that work in progress stage, up to tabletop sort of thing, and this is tabletop, don't get me wrong, but it's just an enhanced tabletop compared to where it was before. It's obviously got the transfers on it, got a bit of edge highlighting. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it, and I'm looking forward to using it again when it's actually in a full tabletop state.
I think John's right, Dave. I think you are a little bit harsh on yourself. I think that's above tabletop now, to be fair. All the work you put into it, the transfers, the script, little script. I think it's good, man. Really good.
Okay, cheers.
Yeah, I think if you put your last set of painted models next to one of your first ones, or even like ones from not too long ago, you every time you do it, mate, you're coming on leaps and bounds. Like they look really, really good. So like, last time we played together, it was decent, like almost better. Probably I'd say better than tabletop, for my standard. Anyway,
well, you guys are going to make me blush. No, I think I've definitely been trying to work harder with the edge highlighting, and I'm happy with how they're coming out, and I do feel like I'm improving. But I think you're always going to be your own worst critic because you always notice the things where it's gone wrong, or whether something that you tried didn't quite work the way you wanted it to. You're going to notice that a lot more than other people. So yeah, maybe I'm just being overcritical, but yeah, thank you.
It must be because you still have Hellbrecht on your shelf looking at
on either side of the battle.
There you go, there's another glamour shot of something else there.
Yep, that's my Impulsor. So again, that was just very quick dry brush, and then a bit of freehand for the sort of script work. A couple of transfers, a bit of edge highlighting on the weapon. He looks quite good again next to the Executioner. Impulsors are quite good within the Templar list at the moment, especially with the 5-up invuln Val. Just gives them that bit more survivability, and obviously, with it being assault, you can move it and then disembark, and obviously pretty much just take an area of the battlefield in the first round. So I'm probably going to get another one, but yeah, again, I'm quite happy with how it come out. Didn't spend too much time with it, but yeah, it looks all right with all the other stuff.
Jobs are good. And what are you working on? What's the next project?
Probably my Wall of Martyrs stuff, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah.
Bit of terrain just to change it up. I have got some Intercessors and 5 more Reavers to do. And they are in the work in progress. I think maybe another 5-6 hours on those, they'll be done as well. So yeah, we'll see. I've also got my Invicta Warsuit. You can just see its feet there. That is done.
Oh, right.
I haven't taken any good pictures of it yet. So
something to look forward to for next time.
Exactly. So but yeah, I think I'm going to try doing some terrain just to break it up, because it's been over 1,000 points I've painted recently in quite a short time, and I don't want to get burnt out with it. I'm glad with what I've done, and I can field almost an army that I want to field at the moment, fully painted. So yeah, probably some terrain just to break it up a bit.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, Shane, up to you, man.
Yeah, I don't have much actually for this one, because this is, as I said, I painted loads, and I actually painted this one ages ago, but for whatever reason we didn't do it in one of the last pods. So this is the Lieutenant from the Imperium magazine. that I think most other people have now painted, but obviously being a Space Wolves, I had to change it up a little bit. So swapped his shield out, added a wolf tail because that's what you do.
Yep.
Swapped out the halo and whacked the Wolven symbol on it, and swapped his head as well for a Wolven one. I also changed the little shield that you have on it as well for one of the bits off a Terminator. And he doesn't have a power sword; he has an axe.
Nice.
Just in the hilt as well. You can't see it from this angle, but yeah, well, there you go. There it is.
Oh,
So
right.
he's got a nice big axe. And yeah, painted him up as Wolf Guard. So he's obviously a Wolf Guard that has been promoted. So his knee pad still has his Wolf Guard pack marking on it. But obviously everything else he's now a lieutenant. So he's actually the HQ. Well, we'll come on to it in our next pod. But he's the HQ for the Crusade squad I picked. Because he's just a general character. I also worked out that I now have enough models, I think, to do a 1500 point all Primaris Space Wolf army. If I get it all painted, that's a big if there. So that's many years. Although on that as well, other hobby and stuff I've done. I did a bit of a spending spree. I did get some army painter wolf grey undercoat, like primer spray. So I'm hoping that that's going to help speed things up, because at the moment I'm using ultramarine blue because it's a Games Workshop one that I can spray on them, but it's still taking 2 coats of Fenrisian grey over the top of it, and it's just really slowing stuff down. And I just want to get stuff done, so it's taking me ages at the moment. It's like that. Well, you'll see it in a minute. The other model I've got shows one of the 3 aggressors from Imperium. The other 2 are just taking me a lifetime. Like, I just cannot get it done. It's taken me ages. I couldn't get a good picture of this guy either. His face looks so stupid.
Is it a wolf's head?
It is a wolf's head. So there are in a lot of the Space Wolves packs, they've got wolf head helmets. So you'd normally have one battle brother would have one of the wolf head helmets, and I was like, oh great, I'll stick that one in there because that will make it a bit different. And I've got other heads for the other guys as well, but they're taking me so long to paint. Like, and as I said, I was painted a load because I got through all the Necrons, I got the shard done, various other bits and pieces, and then I got to the aggressors, and I've just hit a wall, and it's just taken me ages to get them done. I'm nearly there with the second one now, but it's taken forever. I haven't had the time to sit down and do it, because I was sitting there thinking, like, what have I actually done hobby wise? I'm getting like Glenn. I'm not painting anything. And then I was like, well, actually, whilst I've been doing all of this and it's not been moving that far, I have also been doing my my game table. Nowhere near as good as Tom's one, but this is the fold out one that should in theory be like the same size, like as big, but I can transport her around. And I think, Dave, when we have our battle, we'll use that, and it'll either go on the table that I've got here nicely, or it'll fall apart and mess of broken MDF and splinters, but we'll see how it goes. I was doing that as well. And then of course the other bits and pieces I've done from a hobby point of view, I've got the open war deck, so you can build scenarios with that, and we'll talk about that in the next pod as well, because that's one of the battles that we've had recently. And then also just the other day arrived my grand tournament, where is it, there we go, 2021 book. This is the one that's got, we've all seen it in the battle reports, and it's like, where are the rules for retrieve Octarius data as a secondary? It's in there. So if you, again, Dave, when we've got our next battle coming up, if you want to use any of those, you want to have a look at it, it's there for us to use if we want to do a different one, or pick some other secondaries. So I've got that, and that's been my hobbying. So it's been a slow go in terms of the models, but other bits and pieces have moved forward quite nicely.
I've got to say, I love that wolf head. I think it looks really cool.
It looks better in person. Like, as I said, the pictures wouldn't quite work the way I wanted them to, but it's not bad in person.
I like the shield on the back as well. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
That bit I actually quite like a lot. Like it's kind of like, how do you wolf them up without getting the green stuff out? And I was like, this will probably do it. So it's a quick way of sorting it out. Just a bit of an ornamental shield on the backpack.
Oh, love it, man.
Like it. Cool. Awesome. Right. So now on to me. So that is the finished miasmic malignifier, which Shane and Dave, you both met. Huh?
You actually got that right, the naming of it there.
Did you not see me bend down and open the page up so I could read it? I've been calling it a malignifier, or I've called it something different every time I've said it.
Miasmic, is that?
Miasmic malignifier.
Yeah, okay.
That's the one. Yeah, I mean, like we've said a few times, we'll talk about how it's worked more on the next pod when we talk about gaming and where we're at and that. But I actually enjoyed painting this. I think I did it in a couple of sessions. I was pretty happy with it come out. It looks horrible.
I think that's the best thing you painted, I've got to say, so far. I think it looks really nurgly. I know that's an overused expression for that, but just all the like glossy grime and dripping, whatever the hell that is, passing.
Yeah. So I still have these that I bought ages ago from Green Stuff World, the vomit and bile, and they went really well. Like where you can see in the drain there, that's the bile, and I used the vomit just as a coat on all like the tubes and stuff on the side, on the right hand side. I really like it. Like it just helps. I mean, you can do, because the Tesseract Glow and the bile are almost very similar, but the bile is a bit more sticky, where the Tesseract Glow is very runny, and that's what's in the drain, sort of the vein things on the bottom. Yeah, I enjoy doing that.
I really like the weathered metal you've got on here. I think it looks really like it does look like rusted, like corrupted metal. I think you've done a really good job on that.
Good. That's a nice bit of typhus corrosion brushed on there. Yeah, that helps as well. And then what's the blue stuff? I don't know. I can't.
Go on, give it a
go. Blue paint.
Blue paint. Shiny blue paint that goes in there. Now I've got to work. I'm in the middle of a project at the minute, so all my paint's all over my desk. But yeah, so that was that, and then obviously I'm trying to sort of go between all the nurgly stuff I bought and my Imperial magazine. So, is he the Overlord? I can't remember. Is he an Overlord?
He is an Overlord.
Yeah. So there's the Overlord and the little scarabs, in his shiny blue and bronze. So
is he an Overlord, or is he just one Lord?
No, he's the Overlord. There's two Overlord models. There's the one in the Imperium box set, and there's this guy. The one in the Imperium box set's the one with the glaive and tachyon arrow, and this guy's the one with the war scythe and the resurrection orb. The Lord is not too dissimilar. It's just a bit plainer. He doesn't have like the cloak or the headgear.
I painted him almost fully assembled. I think the cloak went on last, and the arm with his scythe went on last. But yeah, it was all right. And the scarabs, they're really easy to knock out, and they are. You could do a lot of them at once. And I
think the Necrons are a nice palette cleanser to paint because they are quite easy.
Yeah.
As I said, I think I said it the other day, Tom, is that the only issue with them is that they can feel a little bit brittle, a little bit weak underhand.
Yeah.
And I hate them. I hated putting them together. That model, honestly, I was so close to just crushing it into nothing. Putting its leg together on that rock, honestly, I nearly threw it into the wall.
Yeah, I seem to have the most trouble with the Necrons with their chest pieces, like getting them to go on. When I like to test them dry to make sure I'm putting it in the right place, and then when I go to put the glue on, it just doesn't go the first time. It's like I completely miss. I've got to say, the head will fall off or something stupid like that. And the few Necrons I've done, every single time I put the chest on, I fucking knock something else off.
When I was building my one, I was doing other stuff. I was trying to just build all my Necrons all at once. And I thought, he's the coolest model, I'll do him first. So I glued them all together. And obviously he's got his hand up in the air like that. and then I started doing all the other stuff. I come back to him, and it's set with his. He was just literally just holding it next to him. It looks fucking stupid. So I had to like break it off and then do it again. So yeah,
He's
they are
about to
a pain
go
in the arse.
bowling.
Yeah, it just looks so fucking stupid. I just didn't even realise until it was far too late. So my one's a bit dodgy, but I'm sure a bit of dry brushing will make it all right. I'm sure.
Bit of character, isn't he? Yeah, and then like I said, I was trying to mix it up and not go and focus too nerdly, just to break things up. And now me and Tom have got big plans in the works for a 3,000 point game. So now I'm all Nurgle ahead.
When are you planning on that one?
So this will go out on the 6th, so on the 8th, so in 2 days' time.
Oh yeah, very nice. Looking forward to hearing how that goes and how long it takes.
Well, it's going to take a while because I think we're planning on doing another battle report as well. So we may not sleep for a day or so. But yeah, here's my Hell Brute, all ready to go. I love painting this. I really enjoyed it.
That's scary looking, man. That hammer, look at that.
Yeah,
it's a beast.
This looks brutal.
Yeah, and I've given him the Hell Brute hammer and the Hell Brute plasma cannon. Very original names. So he's nice and violent looking.
What other weapons could you have had, John?
You could have had loads.
Sword or the Hellbrute axe.
Yeah, the Hellbrate sharp pointed stick. Yeah, loads of different things. Like I always planned to use the power scourge, like the 3 metal prongs, or like the whip looking thing, because I just thought that looked very Hellbrute-y. But I preferred these weapons, so I just used that and stuck them on his back for a bit of extra decoration.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Probably the closest thing to kit bashing I'm capable of, gluing stuff on. Yeah.
It does look really cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
How many points is it?
Pass. In fact, I'll tell you, he's on my list. Talk amongst yourselves for a second while I.
He's probably similar to a dreadnought.
Must be. Yeah, I was thinking like he's very similar to a venerable dreadnought.
Because that's what the model is effectively. It's the chaos equivalent, right? So
yeah,
it should be there or thereabouts point wise.
Yeah.
So what's your venerable, Dave? Because my Redemptor's 185. I think yours is what, 150, 160?
I think it's about 160. Yeah, I think a little bit extra with the las cannons.
He's not too expensive actually.
Talk amongst yourself again.
Bjorn's 175.
Is he?
Yeah.
So my Hell Brute
That is so cheap.
115.
115.
Why
is all your stuff so cheap? That is outrageous.
With that loadout, John?
Yeah, this is with the loadout. So the Hell Brute hammer and the plasma cannon actually cost nothing. Whereas
that sounds like the old whiteboard marker codex again.
no, it's on Battle Scribe. It's on Battle Scribe.
In that case, you might as well just fill your army with them, 115 points each.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, no, I was quite chuffed actually. I thought it was going to be a lot more. I mean, unless Battle Scribe is wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is.
It is notorious for being behind on points.
Is it? Oh well, I'm not going to challenge it. I'll take that. I'll have a look.
Yeah, the Venerable's 155 with the twin las cannon.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Let's have a quick look.
We're all looking at.
No, I'm looking at the.
Any viewers, talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah,
I'm having a quick look at the Thousand Suns. Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, it's 115. Yeah, 115 points.
Yeah.
There.
What are the wounds on it? Is it the same?
It's a beast. So, I mean, he's got 8 wounds. And then if he loses a wound, so if he goes down to 7 or fewer wounds, he can then re-roll wound rolls of 1. So that's decent. Take a wound off him.
Has he got disgusting resilience as well?
No, he doesn't.
No.
So that's the one thing he doesn't have. He's not really got. Oh well, I suppose. I mean, it's called Monstrous Resilience, so it's basically the same thing.
It's the same rule that you get for other Venerable Dreadnoughts, where you take off 1 damage. Bjorn has it, Venerables have it. That he doesn't have, by the looks of it, he doesn't have any invulnerable save.
No, he doesn't. He's got 3 up. So other than that, it's one of those things. He's all right, but yeah, you could take him out fairly easily,
relatively quickly. Yeah.
I mean, he can obviously knock some damage off, and this is the thing. This is why I've given him that the plasma cannon, because it's a decent range, heavy D3, and it's strong, and it's got minus, so it's 8 strength, minus 3 AP and 3 damage. So he just needs to get in, hit hard, and then get in and explode on somebody.
That's also that one there as well. Is if he rolls a 1 or any Hellbrute rolls a 1, he takes a mortal wound.
Mm. Oh yeah, with the
he himself.
Yeah, so like you can overcharge plasmas on troops. They're counted as always overcharging for Hellbrutes.
Yeah. So if you're really unlucky, he could lose 3 wounds a go, right, just by shooting you and rolling 3 ones. But hey, I suppose that's why it's cheap, because he could go either way.
Yeah.
Well, fairly cheap anyway.
You want to try and run him up and get him in punching distance quite quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so hopefully, I mean, and this is the thing, I've got a few new models, so a lot of new model syndrome coming my way, I think.
If you've got a lot of them, though, one of them's going to go off. So, that's fine.
So that's him. And then, so yeah, I liked painting him, and I'm looking forward to using him. Hopefully he'll do me proud. And then my new Lord of the Death Guard is my Lord of Virulence, all ready to go.
Is that his gut hanging out? That's
that
great.
is his gut hanging out.
Nice.
And I did this in one day. I was quite happy with it. I thought it was going to take me longer. And you know what? When they first showed this model, the way he looks on paper, his gut, I really didn't like that. I almost didn't bother buying it. It was only because I wanted to
have 2 CP blight bombardment.
Yeah, and he obviously works well with vehicles and stuff. But actually, now it's painted up, I actually quite like it. I just think the way he looks, the way that his picture is, I think he looks really good. But then when you look at his gut on the pictures and the artwork, it looks really cartoony, and it doesn't look like it fits.
It looks more like a giant swollen up ball sack to me.
It does look, yeah.
Rank. Look, it's got them vein thing for it and all that.
Yeah.
Horrible.
But he looks like a beast. Hopefully he'll act like a beast as well. And then that's just the back of him. I like how his cape come out.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
That's a surprise. I didn't notice that before. Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I was like, I really don't know what I'm going to do here, because I don't know, it just looks a bit like the webbing looks a bit naff, and it's just a load of cables. But it came out surprisingly well. I actually now really glad I got him, because it was something I wasn't looking forward to painting, wasn't really looking forward to having, and I really enjoyed doing it. So yeah, there we go. And now my current project is my Death Shroud Terminators. I'm about 75% done with the first one, so I've got a week and a bit, just over a week to finish them up, and that will complete my 3,000 points then.
Nice. So what's his role within the Death Guard?
So it's just another HQ. He can be a warlord. I mean, he's all right. He's got like the same sort of buffs as everyone else. So like the Lord of the Death Guard aura, where you can, if you're close enough, you can re-roll hit rolls of 1. He's got a 4-up invuln, teleports in, and then Master of Destruction. So if you're close enough, an unmodified wound roll of 6 will improve the AP of an attack. So if I have him next to some vehicles and get some 6s, then it just makes them that little bit tougher. Any sort of
that's actually a really, really good thing to have on him, because you have to pay quite a lot of CP for them strats to use that, didn't you, for Space Marines?
Yeah.
So to have that all the time, if you can keep him alive with a big unit of shooting things.
Well, that's it, because it's like a choice, because I can either move him up with the Blight Haulers, but obviously his movement is Death Guard, so it's 5. Like, it's not great. So he can move up and try and keep up with some vehicles, stay within range and make them back, or he can hang back in defense, maybe stand next to the Plague Burst Crawler or something else, and buff that and just keep him out of the way and keep him in defense of a point. So because his range is with his spewers 12 inches, and he's only got the fist, so he's not like a big shooty guy either.
If he marched up with some, like, because he's another lord, right? So you couldn't have him with like your Lord of Contagion or Felfius, is that right?
No, because obviously like lords are definitely so.
You only one or the other, right?
Yeah,
they only like being one.
You can't have too many. That's why like. We'll go into. I'll tell you a little bit more about my list in a bit, but it's like he can be on the battlefield. He just has to be in a different company.
Oh,
so
okay.
You can like
split companies.
Yeah, if I'm playing the Wretched, then obviously it's one or the other, and then I can have like Mortarian's Anvil with a different lord in. But yeah, they can't. They don't play nice together.
No,
you can equivalent with Death Guard though, of like what we do Space Marines as a chapter master to upgrade him, or is there nothing equivalent to that?
What do you mean when you upgrade them?
With for the Space Marines, if you upgrade one of your captains to chapter master, then you can have another captain in the same detachment because he's no longer a captain. If you know what I mean.
No, not really. So because they're lord, it's not. So the thing is, I've got like various HQ. So for example, when I play with Felfius, he's obviously a Lord of Contagion, and then I'll have like the Malignant Plaguecaster. I couldn't have, even if I set the Plaguecaster to HQ or to the Warlord, I couldn't then have the Lord of Virulence and Felfius together because they don't work. So they have to be in different plague companies. So you can have them on the battlefield at the same time. They just don't want to be friends.
It's like I think like the way you used Felfius is how I would look to use all of the lords if I was playing. It's just march them up alongside those Terminators.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like when you've seen my list. So when we go into the next pod, me and Tom will probably talk about it a little bit more, give some of the game away, I guess. But yeah, it's just decided because this is the thing now. I've got 3,000 points. I've got a few new models that I don't really have experience with, and it's going to be deciding, are they marching up or are they digging in? But we'll see. I'm sure whatever I do, it'll be wrong. But that's it. That's where I am at the moment. I've got Necrons next after my Death Shroud, and then I've got to get back to the Ultramarines. I don't know why. I've just been very reluctant to do it. I think I just need to get some, because my paintbrushes are all getting a bit dead. I'm scared to like fuck them up, make them look not as neat as I want them to, because like they're the ones I actually want to look clean and tidy, like they should. But no, that's it. Cool. And then that brings us back onto Tom.
There you go.
Round 2.
Right. Cool. So I'm probably the most proud of this, of anything I've painted so far in the hobby. It's quite dark to see on camera, so you don't really do it too much justice. I tried to use the white background. I don't know if that made it better or worse, but yeah, I really enjoyed painting him. The only thing I didn't get right was his face, which looks okay, but it went a little bit too dark, and it almost looks like a white scar now, Chaplain. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way he turned out. I used dust effects for the first time with one of them. I can't remember what it's called. Hang on, Tamaya weathering sets. Yeah, with the master sets. So put a lot of dust along the bottom of the bike and that. I think it looks pretty decent.
It looks awesome. He looks really good in person as well.
Yeah.
When you played him the other day, I was sort of like, because the picture really doesn't do it justice. It does look really good in person. The base itself is outstanding. But yeah, it looks really good.
Is that the picture Is that the picture you submitted for the competition? Yeah. It doesn't look that bad.
No, but because he shrunk it down to fit it into 2 things, and it's a bike, and it's quite a big unit. When you start shrinking it down, the detail just goes out of it, and it looked quite pixelated. And I lost 60-40 in the end, but yeah, it was fun.
You voted for you like 3 times each. Don't tell anyone.
That didn't happen, John.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of voting going on in that. I did ask him what the results were. I can't remember what he told me now, but there's a few hundred people that voted on almost every single one.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it was close enough for me to say, oh, I didn't absolutely crash and burn on it. So I look forward to doing more of them.
With all of those, it's always very difficult with a dark model.
Yeah.
Because those ones, they don't stand out compared to someone who's got a bit more sort of colour and a bit more something to draw the eye.
Yeah, you're totally right. Totally right. I realised that once he shrunk it down and put it up there, and I actually looked at the model I was against. And don't get me wrong, it was well painted, but I went on the guy's Instagram thing, zoomed into his model, and it wasn't that well painted. But his colour usage was really good to make it pop. And yeah, it did look good from a distance. The way it was set, it looked really good, and it probably did look better than mine.
I think.
You sound like a bit of a sore loser, mate.
Well, I can't remember. What was the model you was against? Can you remember?
It was an Age of Sigmar model.
It was an Age of Sigmar. Like, it wasn't a dwarf, but it looked like a Nordic kind of dude.
Yeah, like an ogre Nordic type thing. I don't know what it was.
Because sometimes I think you suffer with what you go against as well, because and it depends who's looking for it. Because I know sometimes I'll click on Death Guard ones just out of habit, go, Death Guard, and I'll look at it and actually that other thing was maybe better.
You're saying you weren't entirely objective in your voting there.
Sometimes, but there was like 100. I was just trying to get to Tom, so I was like, click, 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 click. But I feel bad for not voting. So, but don't let that sway how you vote.
I'm going to get Dave onto the next one anyway. Dave's going to do it with me next time, aren't you, Dave?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to, if I really sit down and really tried, I think with all the stuff I've learned in my edge highlighting, I think I could do quite a good job. But yeah, I haven't had a model that, I mean, I'm quite happy with Tank Grid, but we'll see.
You was really proud of him a minute. Like last time I spoke to you, you was really proud of him. Now you're like all down in the dumps again.
I know. I don't know if I want to be further. I want to improve, and I haven't got the confidence at the moment to do the edge highlighting as much. And I'm very split between contrast paints and just going for full on base paints, layer paints, edge highlighting, the whole lot. So I think that because I don't want my characters to look very different, that's why I'm quite looking forward to getting Helbrecht. So Helbrecht, I am very up in the air whether it's painting black or not, to try and make him stand out and then do all the edge highlighting rather than the traditional gold that you'd usually see with Helbrecht. So we'll see. We will see.
Go big or go home.
Back onto Tom's model.
What chapter's this guy anyway?
I'm probably going to use him for either. I mean, I haven't put any decal on him. I haven't put any yellow or red on him, so he could be either Blood Angel or Imperial Fist, unless I'm going to keep it. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep having to buy the same model for twice over and over again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that would be a good idea for him and for apothecaries and maybe even librarians as well. Yeah. Keep them a bit neutral.
Fair enough. Good plan.
So it's my kit-bashed Commander Dante, which I'm probably never going to use because I don't actually like the model stats too much, but I wanted him for my army. I started him a long time ago, and I finally got around to finishing him.
The armor on this is so good. It looks really, really good. Really good. Did you contrast paint or?
No, that's so just Retributor gold. It was sanguinary guard, obviously head and body, then some Primaris arms, and I think they're custodian legs.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I had to do quite a lot of knife work to get them to fit with the body, obviously, because the body's a little bit smaller. And then it's a Death Company jump pack. But it's, what was the gun? I think the gun was actually, it was Dante's original gun, the metal gun. So that's a part of the old Dante still living on through this one.
Base again looks really good, and it's nice not to have any tea or coffee on the base as well. So.
Actually,
I think there's some herbs in there.
Oh, is there? I'll take it back then.
There's a bit of tea underneath the herbs as well as mud.
If Tom's hobby room ever catches fire, it's going to smell really nice and herby.
No, mate. Honestly, it doesn't smell nice anymore because I chucked all the. I'll get into that later. So this was a speed challenge I set to myself because I had about a spare 45 minutes or an hour in the evening, and I thought I would just quickly do this because I'm probably not going to use it. It's a cool model, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to use it much though, so I thought I'll just have a bit of fun with it. I've done it really basic, but yeah, it's all right.
Apparently, if you want to use it before they buff the agents of the Imperium. Because they're still all using the 8th edition rules, even your Vindicar and stuff like that. And I've seen this used in a battle report, and it's got some insane stuff that it can do.
You can barely hurt it, can you?
Exactly.
It's 6+ or something. 6+ you have to get to hit.
Hell yeah, that's it. It can only be hit or wounded on a 6+. It's mental what it can do. And I just saw someone throw it into battle with Mortarion, and he just couldn't shift him. That was it.
No.
Like nothing you could do.
Oh, wow.
But apparently they are gonna not buff, nerf them for the 9th edition when they get round to it.
By the time I ever own any of them, they'll be worthless.
But that's cool for 45 minutes. That's an amazing job.
Yeah. So just quick Black Templar contrast and just dry brush like Dave does with his stuff. If you want to do it quick, it does work quite well, that combo.
Yeah. That's cool.
Then not much to say about these. I think we've touched on Scarab Swarms already. Really quick to paint, so easy. Just literally spray them, dab a bit of red on, a bit of sand on the base, and literally that took about 40 minutes, I think, for them through. So, yeah.
Nice.
Can really feel like you're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
You've settled on that scheme as well, then, for your Necrons.
Yeah, definitely going to go with the red base and the red, because it's, I'm not going to lie, it's so much easier than the other one. The other one had so many more steps to make it look the way it did. Yeah. And using that, I always forget, what's that paint called? The Tesseract. That's it. The Tesseract paint is really difficult to work with. You have to keep layering it upon layering it upon layering it, because it's quite weak, and keep mixing it. And so I'm not going to bother with that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, this is my Overlord. And yeah, just the same thing with him. Tabletop standard, really. Just put a bit of dust on his legs. As you can see, I don't know what, I run out of hook bits, haven't I? So I've got the Space Marine leg on there now. Something on there.
You're gonna have to go and buy another Orc starter box, mate.
I know, just for the arms and legs. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how much I'll use Necrons, if I even ever will, but I'll have fun painting them up.
Yeah.
So obviously this isn't done, but this was my first attempt using the airbrush that I recently bought. And as you can see, it goes on really smooth, and obviously it's quite, and you can highlight it a little bit using a few different greens and using a black undercoat with a, what's it called, a zenithal
highlight.
Zenithal highlight. So it does actually, with an airbrush, you can really make that work quite well. That was just a quick tester really for me. But yeah, I was quite happy with the way it went, and the way that the paint goes onto the models amazingly well when you see it in person, and it's such little effort apart from having to keep bloody cleaning it.
Yeah.
But that's the only part of it.
So how was it like setting up? Was this the first model you tested on?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where to start.
So I watched a few videos first, and one of the videos was by that Squidmar, is it?
Yeah.
Guy, and he really explained it quite well. There's a few other videos I watched as well that were very good, but he explained about the like where the light's coming from, and what parts you need to have lighter than the dark parts and all that. And I tried it like he said, and it does work. Obviously I didn't get it perfect, it was my first time, but I am learning with it, and I think it's actually going to be something that when I paint, I'll still use a brush, I think, for a lot of some of the troops, because I did try and use it, blanket it with my heavy intercessors, and doing the Zenithal thing for all of them took so long that in the end I was just fed up with it, and I just put them aside and thought, I'm not going to bother anymore. And now I don't even want to go back and touch them. They've scarred me. It took ages, so I think I'll just reserve it for characters in the future, or maybe the odd sergeant here and there.
Yeah.
So this, I had a bit of a funny turn really with this one. I just thought Yeah. A lot of people said they really like it. It happened by accident, I'm not going to lie. I tried the Zenithal highlighting with this in a different way, I sprayed black underneath and white on the top. Instead of using the airbrush, it was just the rattle can for this one.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't come out perfectly. It was too dark on the bottom, and I couldn't get, and afterwards I tried to airbrush the yellow over the black. And with the Eandan yellow contrast, it did not take to the black at all. I've rectified that. I should have probably been using more of an ink rather than that, which seems to work. But on this, so I thought to myself, how can I make this work? And I just thought I'll go for a completely different style, really dirty him up and make him look grim dark. And luckily, I think I got away with it, and it looks like I was doing something daring and new, but it was just an accident.
Yeah.
No, it does look really good. It looks like you've done some OSO on it. But that was my idea of the way I set it up for the lighting to make it look like that with the glowing eyes and everything. If you see it in person, it looks okay, but it definitely doesn't look that good. But thank you anyway. I'll take the compliment.
You said you didn't like this one.
I did this one.
Yeah, wasn't it this you said you didn't like?
Now, I like it. I like the way it looks and everything. But this was the first of when I tried to spray. I sent you that picture of all the stuff I was going to try and spray quickly.
Yeah.
And this was the first big unit I used it on, and I went way too overboard. I didn't have the settings right. I wasn't used to how fast the paint come out and myself controlling it on the airbrush. So this one, I went a bit too heavy on it, and I didn't realise. I thought yellow's yellow. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to change from being that colour. But actually, the more yen and yellow contrast goes on with the airbrush, the more a red tinge appears on it.
Right.
I found anyway, and that in person looks quite red. It's almost like orange on some parts.
Okay.
But I like the way it turned out in the end, because once I put the detail on and I washed it all over just to try and not make it look so red, and I think it looks all right. It's tabletop ready.
Oh, that's cool.
For me to use against you.
It looks a bit grimy, doesn't it? So I think you definitely got away with it.
That's it, isn't it? Like when I make a mistake, I go, I'm painting grim dark, and I just grime it.
Dark, yeah.
Get away with it. People are like, oh, I love that style, and you're like, yeah, I know. But he's ready to go now. At least that's the main thing.
The guy on the base is just decoration then.
Yeah, only decoration. Simply because I started painting them up before I had any of my troops for the Imperial Fists, because that was all I had at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to use assault intercessors for the Imperial Fists. It would never be worth it.
Right, fair enough.
I'll stick them on bases, and I've turned a lot of them into regular intercessors, just with a different pose.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then your masterpiece.
This it was just trial and error. I think I was bored one day, basically. I looked at it and thought, what can I do with that? So I covered it in PVA, went out and bought 250 tea bags at 75p per 80 pack. This guy in the shop looked at me like I was mental. I bought 250 tea bags, a load of chili flakes, some herbs, and 3 jars of instant coffee, and he was just looking at me like that. And I was like, I've got a project I'm working on. A project with that? He was just, anyway, he was shaking his head at me. But I got home, covered the thing in PVA glue, and just whacked it all on there, and it actually turned out really well. It looks better than it does there now, because I've sort of firmed it up and that with some more PVA, and it doesn't stink like it did as well, finally.
Yeah, I went over the day after he did it in the morning, and I had a headache within fucking 15 seconds. It was overbearing, but it does look really good.
Yeah.
And it works out quite well with the way you've done different parts, sort of with different consistencies. It does look really cool.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to coming around and playing on it. I like it.
It's a very good table. No, it's great.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
And then that's your last one. You sent me just in time for air.
It's very bright.
This was from today. So this is the new yellow I tried. It does look a little bit bright there because I put my O-ring light on him because it was a little bit dingy in my house at the moment. So, yeah, but I'm really happy with the way he turned out. He's exactly what I was going for. Was on this occasion going for that bright yellow and trying to make him look a little bit more clean. I've still dirtied him up a little bit around his feet and legs, because he's going through mud and barbed wire and all that. But yeah, I just wanted to try something completely new. I airbrushed him so that's why the shoulder pads and the knees look brighter than everywhere else, because they've got different undercoating or primer or whatever you want to call it. So there's more white focused on there, and the rest of it was magenta and red underneath. So them parts are darker. But yeah, it's probably not a style I'll go with like for the rest of my army. But the Reavers will all be done in that style. Otherwise, obviously, it won't look right.
Yeah. Right, it's cool.
It's cool.
Very
Do you think
cool.
you find a place for your Reavers with the Imperial Fists?
In big games, yes, because I've got them in against John. So, but
I think
I'm
if
actually
you use their strats, then I think they can be really, really effective units.
that's what I was looking at. The strat.
And
I don't know much about it.
especially with the bigger games where you can have them that sort of extra CP and a bit more room.
Yeah.
I think that's where they're going to come in their own. But they do have a bit of a niche sort of role. But in the bigger games, I think they could be really, really good.
I'll tell John what I'm going to do with them in the next pod. I'll literally tell him exactly what I've got them for and what I'm going to do with them, just so it makes him overthink.
I'll get my notebook out. Mate, my memory's
You'll find out.
a sieve, but I won't remember that. I don't even know what I'm going to do with my army yet. Bloody hell. Cool. Right. So obviously, what's your next project now? What 14 things have you got on your table?
So all I'm going to concentrate on, I'm going to do a few more characters still because that's just what I enjoy painting. I don't like batch painting.
Yeah.
I never will, I don't think. But I am going to get everything for our match primed and sprayed yellow at least, so that and probably washed as well. So primed, sprayed yellow, and washed, and yeah, they would at least look good enough to do a mini battle report for that. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on for now.
Cool. Right, so then we'll end this episode with a tease for a video that will be up directly after this one for an announcement. So Tom, pass it straight back to you.
Right, so obviously I touched on it earlier with the Chaplain model I painted and entered into the competition. I lost, but I had a lot of fun doing it. Obviously you get sort of speaking to people that's involved with the competition, and you make quite a few new I don't know what you want to call them, like friends, really, I suppose. And you learn from them. And
friends,
friends,
painting friend,
community friends, and yeah, I really enjoyed it being part of the whole thing. It was Demon Forge on Instagram. It was the guy's site, and I thought, why not do it? Why not we do it for Iron and Ceramite? So I've come up with this, obviously with all the other guys, run it past them first, and they've put a lot of useful tips towards it, you lot. So it's going to be called as you can see, the Artificers Quest competition. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. And I made a little logo that's probably not great. Maybe put in a little bit of work on that in the future. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So stick around on the channel, because by the time you finish watching this episode, the video explaining the challenge and how to enter and what it's all about will be up. So we'll see you on that.
I don't, as I said, I don't mind taking us in the outro. So as ever, this is where to find us. And typically on all of the channels, if you search for Iron and Ceramite, that's where you'll find us. So it's that on Instagram, including the hashtag. If you put the hashtag in there, we'll put you on Insta stories. Join us on the Facebook group. A lot of chat there about what you know, bit of Q&A for what we're doing in the hobby. Twitter, if you're into Twitter, if you're on Twitter, it's a good place to get updates when we're live on YouTube. And then, as I said, if you're here on YouTube, you found us already. But if you forget where we are, you can search Iron and Ceramite and you'll find us again. Likewise, we're available on all good podcast services, and maybe some of the bad ones as well. Also Spotify and Apple. And then occasionally, John will fire up Twitch. Sometimes it's a game, sometimes it's a bit of live painting, but worth following along. And then if you do want to support the channel in any way, you can do via Patreon, which, you know, we haven't done much with yet, but we will be developing as we go along. And then likewise, Element Games, we've got an affiliate link there as well. So just add that to the end of the URL whenever you're buying. It gives us a little kickback. Everything goes back into the channel to make this better and hopefully more entertaining for you.
I just realised the combat cards isn't on this one. I don't know why. This must be an old slide.
Right, we also do
combat cards.
Yeah, we also do combat cards, but really, it's just me.
It's just you now. Is Glenn even playing it anymore?
No, I think Tom, you fired it up again for this campaign, didn't you?
I literally just put it on now to get the free boxes and that, and I come in, I win 1 or 2 matches, get the free box, and then that's it. I'm done.
That's it.
Yeah.
The eternal grind.
Yeah, we're relying on the Iron and Ceramite viewership to dethrone you, Shane. We can't do it. Someone out there's better than us.
They'll have to step up at the moment.
Yeah. Well, on that disappointing bombshell, we'll call Exterminatus.
As always, we would like to thank you for listening to our Iron and Ceramite podcast. If you liked us, then you can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and any other good podcast services. Just remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
There we go.
Almost every time you do that, I automatically go to the leave meeting one for some reason.
Desperately trying to get away.
That's it.
Yeah, you remain.
You're right.
Right. We're up to a gaming now. So if we leave sort of all the gaming chat for that one, and then obviously Shane's going to educate us on Crusading.
Cool.
And me and you are going to sit here and nod like
There's not well. That's why I brought my
Yes.
codexes so
Good.
I can have a quick look through while we're sort of talking and going, oh, that makes sense now. So well, that's the aim anyway. So
I'll do that as well. I won't look at it because I never look at it.
You're better off looking at the core rulebook for first up, because that's where your crusade sheet and stuff like that is kept.
Right.
But anyway,
you
that's
photocopy,
aside.
Tom.
Hey, that's
Sorry?
the one. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, Tom. That was the John was just saying. That's the one you photocopied, right?
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought I had my name in there somewhere. Them two things. I'm probably gonna write them out tomorrow. I can understand the basics of the game. What you're saying. We'll talk about this later anyway.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I think we'll come into it when we get to it.
did I do my other flamestorm on the last pod? My new ones. I think I did, didn't I?
I don't know. What do they look like?
The ones, the aggressors.
Oh,
Sorry,
you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah. I remember you talking about the pauldrons.
Yeah.
Who's introing us today?
Who do you want to have a go? Do you want to do it? Or shall we stick to?
Stick to tried and tested. I don't mind doing the outro.
Yeah. All right. Cool. What's going on? I can't find the right button. I just realised how fucking bright I am. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Cool. Right. I'll put the other slide up. Give it that. Give it that.
I'll go to the toilet quickly and put a dressing gown on because it's fucking freezing in here. I'll be back.
Put a nice robe
It's
on.
going to look
I'm
like
going to put my marble one on.
The mad old bastard that you are.
oh, okay. I'm going to go get another drink. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, I'm going to use the little boys' room as well then. Why not?
Cool.
That's what all the cool kids are doing.
Apparently so.
What are you munching on?
Naked.
Some vegan treat.
The naked blueberry bar, yeah. Very nice.
So for cough sweet.
Ooh.
Eat myself. Save me from the Rona.
Keep yourself going. Yeah, imagine that. It was a cough sweet all along.
It's got to be the right one. What cough sweet you having?
Jakeman's.
Oh, right, yeah. Fair enough.
Only because they didn't have any soothers. And the Strepsils were £5 for a pack. So
You what? Strepsils for a £5?
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Jesus
Just the bloke on the shop. I was talking to him. I was like, "You got anything else?" He said these strepsils are £5. He was like, "What?"
And you lot fucking call me an old man.
Outrageous.
So I got a load of Jackmans for 80p.
And I noticed you're drinking as well.
Yeah, well, you got to drown the cold, didn't you?
Yeah, that's it. It's a drown a cold and get a fever pissed.
That's exactly it.
Fair enough. All right.
Cool.
What you eating, Tommy? Where's your robe anyway?
Oh, I thought I couldn't wear that. It's too colourful.
Some Star Mix.
Star Mix.
Diet's going well then.
What are you eating?
We were just having a whole conversation about this. I got my
Cough sweets.
my
I wasn't
Jakeman
there
cough sweet.
then,
Why have you got your sword out? Not that
'Cause
one, the one behind you.
Because it looked a bit random with just a bear cupboard there. So I thought I had to put something there that's like nerdy and hobby
yeah.
wise.
It looks like it's holding the cupboard up.
And then I only now
It
realise
looks-
because I've moved the fucking phone to the fridge. So it doesn't even matter.
Better put a dagger hanging out the fridge as well, because otherwise it would just look weird.
Or
Wouldn't
just like one of them fake dead arms. Hang that in the freezer. Actually might do that for the next pod. That'd be pretty cool.
Mm.
it? It's so cool.
Not cool as you, Dave, with that sexy voice of yours. Sucking
Raspy.
around a Jackman. So I'm sucking in